members of the press, my ministry presented two memoranda to the Federal Executive Council today, and the two were passed. The first memorandum was for the approval, to seek Council's approval for us to amend the labor laws of the country. The labor laws of the country, as presently being operated, are really obsolete laws. And the ILO had pointed that out, that we need to bring our laws to be concurrent with international labor standards and conventions and principles at work. So we had to do this. It's a long journey, started since 2001 by a previous administration. And at a point, the laws were sent to the National Assembly. The bills, were sent to the National Assembly for enactment into laws in 2007, 2008. Only one came out of the 5 bills. The 5 bills sent then was Labor Standards Bill to make for labor standard and replace the Trade Union Act 2004. The second was what we call Collective Labor Relations Bill, which will encompass a portion of the Trade Union Act, Trade Disputes Act 2004, Trade Dispute Essential Services Act, and of course the Trade Unions International Affiliations Act. So the 4 were to be now meted into one law. We also had another bill for occupational safety and health, which was supposed to replace the old Factories Act, with which Nigeria operates occupational safety and health system. We also had the 4th bill, which is called Labor Institutional Bills. All the institutions under labor relations and activities, like Industrial Arbitration Panel, which you know is there now, but is not really there as a recognized agency and entity. It answers the name panel. So this new bill wants to make it a commission. And already the structure for that is there. They're operating with a chairman, a registrar, and arbitrators who will now assume roles of commissioners. As you know, it's a quasi-court in industrial relations. In the middle of the road court between the ministry and trade dispute department and the National Industrial Court of Nigeria. So the essence was to make it down a commission. Also, the Registrar of Trade Unions, whose function is like the registrar of every other federal government institution, like Registrar of MDCN, the Medical Dental Council of Nigeria, Registrar of Pharmaceutical Council of Nigeria, and all that. So that Registrar of Trade Union, RTU, were to be excised again and made autonomous, so that is a little bit independent of the ministry as an institution. Again, we have the National Labor Advisory Council, which is a body again that we set up on recommendation of ILO principles at work. We want it to be a council. So these are what the bills we're sending now want to do. We have, in doing that, the ILO provided us technical assistance, and we did what we call social dialogue and validation meeting, tripartite in nature, with the trade unions, TUC and Nigeria Labour Congress, and the Employers Association, NECA, and the rest of them all. So we agreed that this should be the final product. We looked at it again last June or July 2022, because there were some gray areas. It's difficult to all agree at one and the same time. So we did that, and the final product is what we brought here now. For council to approve that we transmit via the Federal Ministry of Justice, who will look at it a second time, do what you call legal draftmanship or drafting on it, and we now transmit to National Assembly. At National Assembly, it will go through the hog of public hearing, where members of the public and all interested parties will come and listen to what we have to say about the contents. If there are areas of non-agreement, they will be looked at and then sent to Mr. President after the validation there at the National Assembly for assent. So that is the bill we are sending or we sent to council, and that have been approved for us to continue the process so that we can align properly with international conventions and statutes on labor matters. The second memo is a memo on what we call electronic NSITF, Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund. The NSITF operates the old Workbench Compensation Act, which is now Employee Compensation Act 2010. It was signed into law in 2010. Therefore, what we are trying to do is to align the contributions of NSITF to make it fraud-free, to make it useless. People should be able to make the contributions on behalf of their workers with ease, even from the comfort of their office, and generate certificates. You know that the ECA makes it mandatory for all employers to insure through a token contribution of 1% of emolument of their workers to the fund called Social Trust Fund of the NICF. And that is the fund with which, if you have an accident or disease condition or death or disability in the course of work, you can make claim. It's like an insurance claim, what they call accident claim. So we now want to refine it because there are cases of enforcement officers going to companies. They will tell the company, well, you have 1,000 workers, but you can pay for only 100. That shortcutting the organization. There are losses of revenue from that. So this ENSITF has a phase 1 and a phase 2. The phase 2 is what the council has approved today. They had earlier on approved the phase 1, which is minimal infrastructure and cloud activity. Now is for a concessionaire now to come, use his money, and do infrastructure and upgrade in the neighborhood of 15 billion. And then after that, it will take some percentage on incremental revenue that are accrued. It will make the fund to be more liquid now and be able to do our functions appropriately. So the council gave the go-ahead today and approved it and directed ICRC, who is the person that, the body that is authorized by law to enter into such concession, to continue the process and go ahead in liaison with the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation.